What's up? Okay, so it's kind of late. Well, for me, because I'm old now. But I felt compelled to make this video. Okay, so I was just chilling. I saw a Matt Easton video talking about my favorite weapon type, maces, and he's like, "Oh, it's a horseman's weapon." He's like, "Was it actually an anti-armor weapon?" This pisses me off, okay? Ever since DeQuidem came out with his video a year or two ago with a rinky-dink piece of shit mace versus modern hardened steel armor, people in the historical sphere, have been saying that, maces, actually, they're not anti-armor weapons. A weighted steel club is against armor? No way. The sword's the shit. You got a half sword. Yada yada. Axes, 2 to 6 pounds if it's a pole axe at the end of a stick. Nah, that's not gonna. It's so stupid. Like, it's so fucking stupid. Okay, maces have been used since antiquity. Okay, some of the earliest weapons found are stone discs, even on a stick. It's a mace. Okay, they've been used since forever. Since people started hitting other people with things, the mace has been in use. The mace, particularly like a flange, what people think of as a mace, came into its own in the 11th, 12th century, 13th century. They're very good weapons when the best armor is some mail with like maybe a coat of plates and then your helmet. Why? Because the flange is hit with a lot of force and they can literally just smash and rupture the rings of the mail. So, and then the mail can't absorb the impact. Okay, I'm chewing gum in this because my throat's kind of sore, my mouth's dry still, so sorry about that, but that is why it's there. So yeah, they were anti-armor weapons. That's literally why they anti-armor weapons. Okay, they were decent against plate armor too in the 14th century. Now, once you get to the mid 15th to 16th century, yeah, armor got good enough to a point where this isn't probably going to do much. I'll give them that. However, if DeQuidem or Matt Easton would like to test the validity of their claims, I would be happy to oblige. So they can wear their modern steel armor, and I'll take this 4-pound mace and I will smack them around with it and see how it feels. They're not going to like it. I guarantee you. The reason they're not going to like it, not Matt Easton, he doesn't really fight anymore. But you look at DeQuidem. If you look at the maces DeQuidem has, they're a little bit shorter than this. And they are, it looks like a baby rattle in comparison. This is solid head, okay? The whole thing weighs about 4 pounds. You get a strike with this, you're gonna feel it. The other thing Matt Easton was saying is like, oh, well, the helmet became, like, it's conical and it's hardened steel and like you're not getting through it. And when somebody says something stupid like that, they don't know what they're talking about in the context of fighting, right? I'm not saying that Matt Easton doesn't know anything historically, but his takes when it comes to medieval combat are retarded because he doesn't understand how head trauma works. Getting hit in the head, it doesn't matter what your helmet is, okay? You're going to get knocked the fuck around. The fact that it's hardened steel and more resistant to stuff is probably going to make something like this a little worse because it's not going to give, which means you're going to get all of that impact and your brain your head is going to get knocked around and your brain is still going to bounce off the inside of your skull. The reason motorcycle helmets and bike helmets kind of break, they give, is because it helps absorb the impact. Okay? So that's a better design for absorbing blunt force trauma, is to have it kind of give in, crack. It absorbs the force. Your steel doesn't do that. And I'm going to hit you in the head full speed, because this is not hard to use at full speed. Some people will be like, oh, it's too heavy. A mace over a pound and a half, over 2 pounds is too big. That's a lie. That's for maybe like weak men, girly men who like, I don't know, dig up fossils all day or whatever the hell he does. Maybe it's too much. But if you're, trained from the age of 7 to fight all day long, and the weapons that you train with are 3 times heavier than their standard counterpart, you're not going to have any trouble with something like this. And you're going to be able to do it for quite a while. I can keep this going for quite a while. Okay? What do you think these guys who trained with armor and heavy weapons from the time they're, 7? All those guys did was fight. All they did was train to fight. Okay? The idea that your historical mace only weighed a pound or 2 pounds is retarded. The idea that armor is going to just shrug it off entirely is retarded. Because these were hefty weapons, and you don't understand what blunt force trauma to the head does to someone. Okay? You don't understand. Or you wouldn't be saying the dumb shit that you're saying. I watched a video where DeQuedem was fighting a guy with an axe, and he had a long sword. Okay? The axe head was maybe not quite that thick. I think it was about this thick from what I could glean from the video. It was a little more forward, less beard. Okay, so this weighs about 2 pounds. I'm going to assume that guy's axe weighed about 2 pounds. The guy that DeQuedem was dueling was getting a couple of head strikes. Every single head strike he landed, DeQuedem flinched. Every single one. Because getting hit in the head with a piece of steel at the end of a stick is going to make you flinch. Because you're going to take the impact, and you're going to get knocked from it. I'm not saying it caused a concussion. I'm not saying it did that. But you're still going to feel it. Now, if you upscale that to something like this, which is about twice the weight of this, and you land them up the side of the head, yeah, concussion, sure. You hit the joints of the armor with this, with a good strike, you're gonna crush the arm. I don't care. You hit the right in around here, you're gonna hurt him. You hit the back of the leg, you're gonna jam him forward. Okay. Now, yeah, like I said, you get to the absolute top of the line, pinnacle, heavy plate armor, where you're completely encased in steel. Sure, I'll give it to you. The only vulnerable spot's going to be your head. And that's fine. But that peak, that thing where everybody thinks of, like the pinnacle of knight armor, it didn't last very long. Because guns and cannons, okay? But the period where the mace was effective, yeah, all from antiquity up till about the mid-15th century, 16th century. That's a hell of a long time to be a weapon that supposedly sucks against armor. When you literally were one of the primary weapons against... Okay, weapons like this were never the primary weapon because a lot of combat was done in formation. So your primary weapon was always a polearm. But this was a pretty good backup weapon. I'm just tired of hearing people talk about how it's not good against armor. Clearly, it's fucking good against armor. And this, by the way, is based off of... This is windlass. It's based off of a 15th or 16th century Italian mace. So, this is based off of a historical piece. Okay? So, that right there also defeats this idea that maces were, like, super tiny and small. And they were fine. Like the Todd Cutler sack pieces of shit, alright? With the little copper head or whatever, the bronze head. It's a waste of your fucking money. I don't like it. It's trash. This thing is all steel construction. It is hollow. It's a tube. But that's fine, because you're just going to smash somebody in the fucking face with it. And yeah, helmet or no, If you have a helmet on, you get a concussion, and then your opponent finishes you off when you're on the ground. If you don't have a helmet, your head explodes. That's what this does to you with a full swing. Okay? It's just gonna demolish your head. If you have a helmet on, you're gonna get concussed. You get concussed, you're gonna go down and you're gonna die. That's just how it works. This is an anti-armor weapon. The idea that the people say it isn't is just stupid. It's so stupid. Okay? These people are like supposedly so smart, and then they're like, oh no, that's not how it is. And it's stupid. It's so stupid. Not only does it not make sense that this wouldn't be an anti-armor weapon, but they're just ignoring the literal fucking tapestries that show it being a fucking anti-armor weapon and smashing people in the face. Just like they ignore the ones where the sword cuts through the fucking armor. Because yeah, historic armor back then was not armor that we have now, okay? You could penetrate it. The idea that you couldn't, it's stupid. It's fucking stupid. Like, if I took a 14th century sword and smacked it against a steel pole, it's gonna snap. Okay, it's gonna break. It's done. If I take a modern sword and snap it against the steel pole, it's not gonna break. It's not gonna fucking break. It might bend a little bit. It's not gonna break. I guarantee you. I'll take that Honshu Claymore, smack it against a steel pole. It's not gonna break. The cold steel one might break. Maybe. But you get the point. It's dumb. It's just dumb. That's why I stopped watching most of these people. It's like, I don't understand how people who are like smart can be dumb. I gotta oil this mace. It's getting a little rusty. Which is weird because I use this thing all the time. I use this all the time. This is my EDC. This is my primary, right? Like, I literally sleep with this. It's within arm's reach. It's right there, just in case. This is my favorite thing. My favorite weapon. The mace, I think it just suits my personality pretty well. It looks good, and it's very direct. But anyway, yeah, I hate these HEMA nerds. I hate the HEMA nerds, okay? I hate their stupid footwork. I hate the way they talk about manuscripts like it's sacred text from God. It's dumb. HEMA is stupid, okay? HEMA's stupid. When it's treated as the be-all, end-all. If you look at HEMA as a form of, like, dueling, I'm fine with it. But that's what it was. That's all it was. It was rich people dueling each other, okay? That's it. It was a system created with rules and regulations and blah, 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 blah. It's rich people fighting. It's a sport. Stop acting like that's how people on a battlefield fought. Because it's fucking not. And stop fucking saying maces were not anti-armor weapons. Because what the fuck else, what else was it, what else was this before? What else? Tell me, what else? What else am I going to do with this? What the fuck else am I going to do with this? Yeah, it's just annoying. I was going to make a point about axes too, but I kind of forgot what I was going to say about that. My main issue was the mace. The axe, your Viking style axe, got supplanted by the pole axe because it's just a better version. It's a beefier version. But I swear, these motherfuckers start saying that pole axes aren't good against armor. Give it a year or two. I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. Because way back in the day, and I've been in this a long time. I'm 33. I've been obsessed with this shit since like 2009, 2010. Whenever I discovered YouTube. So yeah. Everybody talked about, oh, mace is an anti-armor weapon. They're so good against armor. They're this. It was just a common sense thing. Now it's like, oh no, they're actually terrible. They're Maybe a horseman would use them and he'd ride by on the horse and he'd smack him in the head. No, fuck off. Just fuck off. And I'm not saying that they weren't used that way, but if I'm gonna ride a horse, why wouldn't I just have a spear and a lance? Like, I gotta have a mace too, but like, it's, you know what I mean? It's like anything. You give me a tree branch, and then if the horse is galloping 35 miles an hour at somebody, they're fucked. But on a battlefield, your horse isn't likely to even do that anyway, so, you know what I mean? Like, the logistics just don't work out. This is like, and remember, I'm going to keep saying this, all these people were telling us that great swords were used by mercenaries to go rush into pike formations, spin them around like a helicopter, and break up the pike formations. Common sense, they don't have it. They read, and they look at stuff, and then they don't bother to think about it. It just blows my fucking mind. I don't understand. I really don't. It's like, you ever talk to somebody, and like on paper they're smart, but they don't know how to function in real life? That's how I think of these people, these human nerds. It just blows my mind. Like I said, I'll fight anybody in armor with this mace, or better yet, the kanabo, because there's people who don't even think that was a real weapon that was used practically, and I very much disagree. And we can show people how wrong they are about their interpretations of things. But they won't ever do it. They won't ever agree to any of it, ever. So there's no point, because they're never going to do it. They're just not. Just remember, though, all these people to tell you that stuff like this is ineffective will not use anything this size. And every time they use a poleaxe, it's going to be rubber. And when they fight in HEMA, like the armored HEMA, it's not quite Buhurt. I can't remember what it's called exactly, but they actually put on the armor. When they do that, they don't allow you to use something like a kanabo. The maces are kept at half a kilo, just like in Buhurt. But they're going to tell you how great the armor is and yada, yada, yada. Just remember, they say one thing, their actions prove another thing. And it's just really annoying to see it, because so many people just agree with them. And then they'll praise them to the high heavens. And like why? It's just annoying. But yeah, I'm tired. I've been up a while. I worked 10 hours. Was it 12? It was a 12 hour again. So, peace.